Today I come to you from a train.
This show is for everyone working at the coalface. Digital, business, marketing, social. This is At the Coalface with your host, Jason Greenwood.
You've probably noticed that this is a slightly different venue than what my normal videos are shot in, which is in my car on my way to work. You can see that I'm actually on the electric train service here in Auckland. You'll hear it in the background announcing each stop. A bit of an unfortunate situation. I got a speeding ticket on my motorbike, and as a result of that, I lost my license. But there is a silver lining. I lost my license for a month, so in any case, there's a silver lining to this. Forced me to use the train service for the first time, and the train service drops me about 2 minutes outside my work. So it's just a short walk from the train station to the office. So looks like I'm going to be using this a little more frequently now. It's much more convenient. Don't have to fight the traffic. Don't have to have the stress of driving in traffic, and I can arrive at work just totally relaxed. It's a really nice service. These are brand new trains, and it's really a great experience on the train. So I'll definitely be using the train more often. Maybe not exclusively, may still take the motorbike in occasionally, but definitely there's a silver lining to this, which is that our mass transit system is actually really good. It's actually really cheap. Spent $140 for a month worth of service. So yeah, I'm really happy about learning something new about our great city of Auckland. So anyways, from a business perspective, what I want to talk to you about today is A/B testing and whether A/B testing is important. So A/B and multivariate testing actually. And A/B testing is something that I guess every major person who works in digital is a big advocate of. I just want to weigh in with my thoughts and my take and my experience with A/B and multivariate testing, and I guess we need to establish what it is first. So A/B testing and multivariate testing are website testing scenarios. You can actually test many different things in an A/B multivariate test sort of way, whether that be your emails, whether that be, there's a whole raft of different digital processes that you can run through an A/B test scenario. But ultimately what it comes down to is directing your traffic website traffic to two different alternate pages or two different layouts of either individual pages or different portions of your website to see which one converts better or achieves the goals that you're looking to set for your website better. So you might have buttons that are a different color. You might have a different journey on your product page to adding products to cart. You may have a completely different layout on your home page. Your USPs may be different. Your unique selling points. You might have different blocks. You may have different tiles. There's a whole raft of different things that you can do. You might put your site search box in a different place to try to increase usage of site search because site search converts better, or whatever the case may be. So really what it comes down to is trying to optimize the customer journey on your website or through your emails or whatever it is that you're testing to try to improve the experience for them and to try to get the website to convert at a better rate. Now, do I think that that's important? Sure. I mean, I don't think anybody could argue, but I think in terms of return on investment, it's perhaps not the same return on investment that it used to be. And the reason for that is because there's been a standard sort of set in the industry. The likes of Amazon, the likes of Google, and the likes of all the major players in the space have really set an expectation of how a website will work. It's kind of the Amazonification of the world. And Amazon runs hundreds of thousands of tests a month. They run millions of tests per year. Most of those are automated. And they've arrived at the best user journey for their customers, for their audience. But as a result of that, and because they hold such a large percentage of the market, they've sort of trained the market to expect a website to operate in a certain way from an e-commerce perspective. And this is true of all the major players from Walmart to all the major, particularly U.S. players, but all the international players. They've really trained the market to expect a website to perform a certain way. There's also another reason, several other reasons why I believe that website testing perhaps doesn't have the value that it used to. And that's because we now have quantitative and qualitative services like Baymard. So Baymard is a website, a subscription-based website that you can join up. And what they do is they do best practice testing. They do best practice research all around the world of all the world's top websites on an ongoing basis. And basically they pull together and collate all of the usability elements of those websites. So they pull together how the navigation works. They pull together where the site search sits. They pull together what the checkout funnel looks like and what type of checkout it is, whether it's multi-step or whether it's a one-page checkout. They pull together a tremendous raft of research, and so it's a combination of quantitative and qualitative data in the sense that it is real-world data. But there's a lot of it, and so because of that, we now have a better understanding of the general market expectation of how a website will work. And so instead of having to test wildly varying layouts for your home, category, and product pages, checkout, etc., we know what the market expects because 90% of the market does it that way. And not to say that you can't improve upon it, but certainly if you don't have a large amount of resources, your resources are probably better spent doing other things than trying to improve and get that extra 0.5% of improvement out of the user flow. The other thing that makes A/B and multivariate testing less valuable, I think, today than ever before is through services like Crazy Egg and Clicktale, which are real-time feedback applications that sit on your website. Clicktale effectively videos every single user journey or a percentage of user journeys on your website in real time. So it's almost like a screencast of each user's journey through your website, and so it videos which pages they're on, it videos where their mouse is at the time, and you can see any potential friction points where conversion is failing on your website. You can look at specific pages and all the user journeys on that page. And then we've got Crazy Egg, which is a similar sort of service, but really it does heat mapping. And what heat mapping does is it tracks mouse movements, it tracks clicks, and it shows where friction is. So it shows where people are hovering for a long time with a mouse but not clicking. It shows all the top clicked links. It shows how the conversion actually happens, what that conversion path and funnel looks like, and it breaks down basically all the friction points on your website throughout that user journey, so that you can identify very, very quickly in real time from your specific audience, from your specific customer base, where they're finding problems on your website based on actual input and actual experience, as opposed to assuming based on a test that this button changed to a certain color actually had an improvement. And the final reason why I think A/B and multivariate testing maybe doesn't have the value that it used to is because you can run the same test, and I've seen this happen before. You can run the same test 6 months after you run the first test and get a completely different result. Your audience changes, your customer base changes, the volume of transactions or the volume of visits that you're getting to test against may change over that time frame, and user expectations do change over time. So you can end up chasing your tail, and the one of the other reasons why A/B and multivariate testing perhaps doesn't have the value that it used to is that there's been a lot of conversion rate optimization agencies come on stream over the last few years trying to convince businesses and convince merchants that they have to do A/B and multivariate testing, otherwise they're going to fail as a business. And as a result of that, trying to justify their own existence, they propose tests that are tiny little changes, putting a dot here or putting an extra link here, whatever the case may be, and they're not dramatic enough changes to the layout, the styling, the design, the graphics, the iconography, the landing pages, etc. There's not a big enough variation for you to really confidently attribute any change in conversion to those test changes. So that's my take on A/B and multivariate testing. Love to hear your thoughts on it. I don't think it has the value that it used to because of the research that's out there in the marketplace, because of the testing tools that are out there in the marketplace. Instead of making changes and then actually assessing what those changes do, I'd rather respond to actual user inputs via Clicktale, Crazy Egg, the like, and start with a very best practice-based design based on qualitative research such as Baymard, and making sure that your site elements all have the bare minimum, the minimum viable product that's expected in the marketplace to begin with, and then do real-time testing via these other tools. So give me your thoughts, and I'd love to hear your experience with testing on your website and sort of the gains that you're getting. How much are you spending? What's the ROI? It's pretty easy to suss out straight away whether the effort of testing is worthwhile for your business. If you're getting a lift in conversion, then you can multiply that against the transactions, the average order value and the like, so that you can get an absolute monetary value of your testing, and then you can compare that with the money you're spending for testing and very quickly work out whether actually the numbers actually stack up and it's actually worthwhile. So let me know your thoughts, and let me know your experiences, and look forward to hearing from you.